Hey, what's up, y'all? It's called the Chess Chronicles. I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, about people complaining about their current cities or the cities that they moved to and been living there for some years. Leave. I'm going to use my city, for example, throughout this whole video, a city of Atlanta, because the city of Atlanta gets attacked for every single thing. If you do not want to be in the place that you're at, leave. And then also the things about, I'm not going to visit there. The reason why I'm not going to visit there because there's too many Don't come. Save yourself the headache and save me the traffic, especially when it comes to Atlanta. But let me give you a story about myself and what happened when I first came to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in 2009, and that was during the Great Flood. I mean, it was a huge flood. And I lived in this area called Buckhead, and it was this creek that's right beside the apartments that I lived in, and it literally overflowed, and it flooded the entire area. So we did have to evacuate. It was that bad, but it didn't get to the point to where it was it came into the apartment because we stayed on the downstairs apartment, but it didn't get to the point to where it's everything was covered in water or something like that too, because we were at a little bit more higher elevation than they thought we were. It's just the fact that I had to, when I walked outside the door, I literally probably was about 8 inches in water. So I had to get my car towed out of the complex because the water was up so high. So after that situation, I didn't return back to my apartment probably for about a couple of weeks. And of course, the water has subsided, and it was the cleanup process that started. So once the cleanup process started, I probably said this in one of my first stories that I told you about, is that the people at Peachtree Park Apartments hired their Reliant company. I think it's an Alpharetta or something like that, or Marriott or something like that. They came in and stole every earthly item I've ever had, except for the stuff I took with me. And, I left a lot of stuff in that apartment, including most of my clothes. I mean, literally all my clothes. TV, my plasma screen TV, these expensive rugs, coats, all my jewelry, pretty much all my jewelry was in there because I was just trying to get stuff to get out and then, evacuate as soon as possible, because I thought I was going to be back in a couple of days or something like that too. But they had the whole area, blocked off so no one could go down there because, they were doing some certain things and still trying to, I guess, get some water out and, so people make it safe for people to get there. So I decided to go back to Memphis, Tennessee. And that's actually where my job was stationed, because I was working for American Airlines at the time. And I transferred my job from Little Rock to Memphis. So I was still working in Memphis, and then I was commuting back and forth from Memphis, Tennessee to Atlanta, Georgia, because I was living in Atlanta and commuting back and forth. I was still a part-time agent at that time because I got my job downgraded because I wanted to still have the benefits of flying. And then also, I still wanted, just in case I wanted to come back and go back into what I was doing before, I can come back with no problem. So I was commuting actually when I first moved to Atlanta, I commuted from Memphis and Dallas, Texas. I did it here in Atlanta for almost 2.5 years, where I flew back and forth, and then also drove to Memphis. So Memphis is only a 5.5 hour drive from the city of Atlanta. But so, I did that for a long time because I wanted to keep my job with American Airlines, and then I eventually gave it up. So I went back to work, came back, and, go back to the story where everything was stolen, and I literally went ballistic, cussed out everybody, including the owner. I cleared out the whole space when I went out there. It was so bad, we got the news team to come down and do a whole special about, the flood did not cause the damage or anything to the what's name. The people stole this stuff, and we end up suing Peachtree Park Apartments, and we did a settlement and all this kind of stuff like that, which I should have got the majority of. And I'm gonna talk about that stuff a little bit later. I'm gonna save that for another story because my stuff was way more expensive. I mean, way more expensive. The other person could have replaced all this stuff at Walmart for $500, but my stuff was way more expensive. But anyhow, so that went through. We got the little settlement and stuff like that too. So we're displaced, and we moved to, Greenbrier, when they first built these brand new apartments and stuff like that. They were really nice back then and whatnot too. But when I first got to Atlanta, go back to, how I hate it here, I hate it there, I hate it there. No, I don't hate it in Atlanta. I actually love Atlanta. Atlanta is a great city. When I first got here, literally, I sold my, what do you say, sow your own oats. I surely did. I gave myself like 6 months to just go in, party, have fun, and I did a lot. So then I experienced the city of Atlanta, but before then I was also traveling a lot too. So I got to go to LA. I got to go to New York. I got to go to, out of the country and, the Caribbean and Italy and all this other stuff like that too. So, I experienced all that stuff. But this is just for the people who, continuously complain about, cities that they living in or whatnot. If you do not like the city, take your ass somewhere else. Go to Rumblebuck, Iowa or something like that, and experience the same thing there, but on a smaller scale. One thing I can't stand about when it comes to the city of Atlanta, because a lot of people said, "Oh, too many gays, too many bisexuals, too many downloads, too many scams, too many what's the name." That shit is everywhere. Every city that you go to if it has more population, it's gonna be even bigger. So Atlanta has a real big population, especially when it comes to metro area, and you're going to get a lot of different stuff. You may not get, you may have a credit card fraud 2 or 3 that's down in North Little Rock, Arkansas, but here in Atlanta, you're going to get about 10 to 20 because we got way more people here. So you're going to experience a lot more stuff in different cities, because, especially when it comes to these bigger cities. And, a lot of people are like, I'm going to move here and change, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Fine, do that. But if you do not, reap those, benefits of being in that big old city, and then you always talking about it, complaining, and you still live there, move your ass to an unknown city that that you wouldn't even pick. Like, take your ass to Bumblefuck, Iowa, or something like that too. And you wouldn't experience, you're not going to experience that on a larger scale. You're still going to get the same shit, but it won't be on a larger scale where you're like, oh my God, it's every single day. I will complain one thing about Atlanta. Ooh, our traffic fucking sucks. God, Jesus, praise the Lord. I mean, it is literally like I try to stay off the roads during certain time frames, especially when it comes to 7:50 to 9:35, and then 12 to 2, then 3:50 all the way up to 7 o'clock. This traffic is hell. But I just want to say, look, I experienced a whole bunch of stuff when I came here to Atlanta, and I know I'm all over the place and rambling and stuff like that because I'm just thinking of stuff that happened after that situation. When it comes to the flood situation, I lost my job because of a person who decided they wanted to put their hands on me, and I didn't even hit the person because this man was older, and I could have easily kicked his ass. But I just literally took my hand on his throat and I held him against the wall for him not to hit me anymore. And at the time I was in management. And so I'm just sitting there trying to, stop the whole situation because, it was just like, really, we're 2 managers and we can't be doing stuff like this. But I guess he had some kind of hidden agenda. I don't know what the hell happened, but we both end up, losing our jobs. And at that time too, I had a car caught on fire. It was a whole bunch of stuff that went on because it's just like, it's just life is just thrown at you and happening. And it got to the point where I had to go back and recoup myself, going back to Arkansas for 3 months. And then I came back and, start hustling and grinding again, which I'm trying to do right now to this day, because you're always going to be in that, that hustle and grind. I don't care if how rich and how famous or whatever you get, you still want to get to that next level. But it's just to these people who continuously complain about being in certain cities, and I'm sick of seeing these things. Well, you can't do this here, you can't do this there, you can't find a man here, I can't find a woman here, they too gay, they too straight, they too listening. Move, take your ass somewhere else. I'm serious, just take your ass to a little small town where you're unknown and start over there, because as much as complaining you can do as you're doing, you can find another place to live.